Welcome to another episode of Brand Lincoln, where we take a look around the Lincoln, Nebraska area and introduce you to business owners and influential people in the city. We are brought to you by Perch Merch. Perch Merch is a locally owned, custom screen printing and embroidery apparel shop that also specializes in vehicle wraps, decals, and all sorts of promotional products. If your business, school, or team is looking to expand your brand, head to perch-merch.com or call us at 402-217-5212.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Brand Lincoln. I am your host, Chris Beecham, joined by my co-host, Henry Schmidt.
Hello, Chris.
And producer, DJ, graphic design, Joe Cruz. Joe Cruz is here.
What a glorious day, Chris.
It's glorious anytime we're doing a podcast.
I agree.
So before we introduce our guests, we'd just like everybody to like, subscribe, follow on whatever platform you're listening on. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at Brand Lincoln Podcast. So today in the Perch Merch studio, we have Alec Calzada.
You said it. You got it right. Got it. Yes.
The charging station at 6128 Havelock.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Alec.
Premier two-story coffee shop in Lincoln, Nebraska.
So yeah, tell us what it is. Like, what's the?
No, it's a coffee shop. It goes, and I wish I could say that that we did something that was like super out of the blue and totally revolutionary, but we're not necessarily. What I have is like I said, two-story coffee shop. We focus on trying to serve a European slow bar experience. When I first got into this, the competition was Scooters and Starbucks and the Mill and some more local coffee shops in the area. And so I was like, what can I do to be different? And during my research, so I was writing business plans and everything, but I was also trying to learn as much as I could about coffee, about the world of coffee, the industry of coffee.
How long has it been open?
It has only been open since January 3rd of 2024. So it opened up
young. Okay.
January 3rd. Yeah. Brand spanking new, not even a year. Everything I'm doing is still like, it's. I'm an amateur. I'm learning as we go here completely. No data to back any of my sales decisions or marketing decisions on. So everything is very I'm feeling through the dark here, flying by the seat of my pants. So when I first started getting into this, I was drinking a lot of content from Instagram and YouTube about different coffee shops and what everyone else was doing globally. And the European coffee scene struck me as the thing that was what I was hoping to do. That was kind of my vision from the get-go when I kind of walked into the coffee shop. I walked into that space and I kind of had this vision strike me of this awesome coffee shop in this old building with brick walls and high ceilings, and just like there's something really cool and historic, like vintage, and it's timeless here. And so when I wanted to open up the coffee shop, I was like, well, I want something that is also going to be timeless and just have its own spirit and its own kind of character. And so when doing all this research, I found that European coffee shops tended to be, and they're called third wave coffee shops. Third wave coffee shops tended to be more down to earth, very no franchise. You have a single location. They don't scale. Sometimes they roast their own coffee. Sometimes they don't. They've got very few staff. They know their customers, their regulars, very, very well. The rapport they have is just striking to the point where sometimes people feel odd going in because it's like, I'm not in this crowd. Like, I don't know the barista by name. They don't know my drink.
Sure, they're chatting with everyone else, but I'm the new person coming in. Like, what's going on here?
Exactly. Yeah. So that can be kind of off-putting. So but it becomes like this place where it's the place you go. It's the neighborhood spot. It's like Cheers, right? Or at Seinfeld, they go to that restaurant, the
Central
diner.
Perk.
They're always in this one place, And so that's what I wanted to do going into this. And so everything that I've done from the moment we opened forward, all the menu, the items that we're serving, everything, the equipment, nothing's automated, nothing's automatic. It takes longer for you to get your items, hands down. It's not a good business decision in terms of like getting products out and making money. The revenue doesn't shoot through the roof. But the regulars that I have, the people that come, they trust us a lot. They trust us to do more than just serve them consistently the same thing. They trust us to recommend things, try new things, And we like to do things like, hey, would you like to try this? We're like experimenting with rosemary brown sugar. Do you want to try a rosemary brown sugar latte? I'm like, what the heck is a sure? Because we've got this rapport with them. We know them. It's like they've been in 6 or 7 times. So me throwing this at them is not weird or odd or bizarre. You can't do that in a scooters.
Oh, no. They rush in, grab it, and go. They got to get off to work, but no time to chat.
And so that was another thing, too, is like, so when I was looking at coffee and I was trying to find my ideal customer profile, right, I saw that at least for me, is from my perspective. And so somebody else in the coffee industry can correct me if I'm wrong. There seem to be like 3 segments of people. You have your aspirational people. So there's like the entrepreneurs, the realtors. You have the people who are like trying to make it big, and they're going from coffee shop to coffee shop, and they're trying to get away from home. They're just like, this is my focus place, workplace. And they're nomads. They kind of they travel all over. So those people are out there, and you can't really put too much. You don't want to invest in them too much because they're probably going to move on to another coffee shop. They're just looking for something to inspire them real quick. They get a quick hit, they do their thing, and they move on to the next coffee shop a week from now. Then there's the caffeine addicts. These are the people who there are horror stories about. If you talk to Starbucks baristas, they'll talk about these caffeine addicts that come through the drive-thru and scream at them or throw coffee at them because the drink didn't have skim milk, or it wasn't hot enough. I asked for extra hot. This is cold. Throw it. Drink, like, horrible stuff.
I think Henry's one of those types.
Yeah, you can tell.
Sure. Please don't come to my shop. 86. But so those are the caffeine addicts. Then there's this third segment of people who are lonely. Those people, they're looking for human encounter. They're looking for not just a place to get a cup of coffee, but a lot of them are looking to become a part of somebody else's life in some way, shape, or form. And my goal with opening the shop was to become a part of other people's lives. And so of the 3 segments of people, I was like, that's the one that I want to focus on. The people that are lonely and who want to have a friend and a place to go.
I might make a suggestion. Replace the word lonely with friendly.
I could definitely say. Want me to
How about
I'm okay.
How about you mind your own business?
Well, I mean,
Joe, do you own a coffee shop?
I just don't want to.
How about you shut up?
I don't want to be known as the lonely guy out on the street.
Well, it's not a. So I guess and there are. So there are people who are definitely like friendly, easy to get along with. I'm sure you'd get along great with us. We'd love to have you over there. But there are the people who are legitimately alone. So there's one person in particular. I'll change his name for his anonymity.
You can name him Joe.
Yeah, there we go. So his name is Joe. Yeah. But Joe comes into the coffee shop. He lives alone. He lives completely alone. He's an older gentleman, and he comes to read, and he orders the same. And he comes and he's moved spots in the shop, but he usually comes the same day, same time. I'm sure it's his day off, and it's just a part of his routine now to come and to read. I know his name. He does not know mine. I know exactly what he gets every single time, and he's very shy. Like, he just doesn't want to talk to me. But there's like this silent friendship.
Yeah.
He appreciates you. You appreciate him.
For sure. And so there's like respect there. I know he's a lonely guy, but we're doing something for him. We're serving him in a way that he's not going to get that at Scooters, Starbucks, even the mill to a degree, because the mill is very hustle and bustle. There's a lot going on at the mill, and they're trying to get people in and out fast. And I don't know if the baristas really take the time or can take the time to get to know people as much. At least that was my experience doing there. Nothing against the mill.
Watch out, Mill. Shots fired.
Their coffee sucks.
Coffee wars.
But yeah, so that's I think we do so. Trying to there was one day in particular with Joe where he got a tea in a to-go cup on because we messed up his order. We thought he wanted it to go, and we didn't see him for 3 weeks until
Really made him mad.
Yeah. I had to go online, and there was a comment from an anonymous person saying they used to serve their tea in glasses, and I got one in a plastic cup, and I'm really disappointed. So I had to respond to this person and say, hey, we've made a commitment policy change. Tea always goes in the glass ceramics if you're dining in, unless you ask, for it in a to-go cup. And so like 2 weeks go by, and here comes Joe. And now he's back again. So I have a feeling I'm not Sherlock Holmes, but
Called out
if
Joe.
I was, I would say that was Joe. And so those are the kinds of stories that are going on there, and we serve him, and he technically, I will make more money from Joe over the long haul of the business than I will with anyone else, like bar none. So if I can get 25 of these kinds of people, my business is made, and I just need to replace one every time one drops off, that kind of thing.
Every time one gets the wrong cup, then
Or passes away. And,
oh no.
just to make it real dark.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't know. Yeah,
Have you heard about light roast?
That,
Let me tell you about light roast and dark roast.
the whole thing of that is fascinating. I've never thought of it that way, but it makes sense because I went there today.
You did?
Yes,
you were there.
No,
did I see you?
Oh, you did?
Nope, you were not there. Somebody else helped me.
I must have been getting
I
a
would've
sick
loved to.
haircut.
But the vibe was so effing awesome.
That's cool.
That was
Yeah.
the coolest vibe, and like that was just on the main floor. And then the barista's super nice, and I was going in. I don't drink coffee, so I was gonna get something else, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, you got paninis, you got lunch." And I was like, "Well, I guess we're gonna get a sandwich." And then I saw, you can go upstairs, and then the vibe's even cooler up there. And you got Frank Sinatra playing. Slightly. But then when I went upstairs, there was a lot of people kind of separated, but every single one of them looked at me, smiled, or said hello. And I was like, well, this is just a friendly place, you know? And I was just too busy, like, in all of the woodwork, the ceiling, that I was just like, this is awesome. Like, you nailed the vibe. And then telling me, about kind of the group you're going for, that you did it then. Because that's literally, I felt accepted and, like, welcome. And I was like, okay. You
don't even get that here.
No, I walk in here. And it's like,
Are you a lonely person?
well, I didn't know I was.
Are you a friendly person?
I guess you'll see me every day at 11 o'clock. Or something.
I'd love to have you.
What'd you do before this?
So I'm an expat or a refugee from California. And so I moved here with my wife and 3 kids January of 2022. And I still do, before I left there, I still do this. I do CAD drafting. So that's actually my main source of income. That's my main squeeze. I do that full time. I draw architectural plans, residential plans, commercial plans. And I have my own business. It's just me, proprietary, just sole business owner. And I just draw plans freelance for the contractors and architects and engineers. And so I drew the plans for the coffee shop. And I got the permit myself. I did the whole 9 and did some of the construction too. So that was all kind of my background in the construction world made it much easier for me to see this entire thing from start to finish. So I know for a lot of entrepreneurs, it's where do I even begin and who do I talk to and how much is it going to cost me? And there's so many unknowns. I thankfully had at least all of that, the construction aspect of it, pretty much down, and I knew what I was going to expect and have to do, and I was able to do it for free because it was just me. So that's what I was doing before I left California. And then, coming here, I'm still doing that work. All my work is out of California still, so I make California money in Nebraska, which is great. And that pays my salary, and that feeds my family. It pays my bills. The coffee shop does not.
Yeah, more of a hobby at this point, but
It's
a very enjoyable,
extremely fulfilling,
gratifying
side hustle.
It's like having a podcast.
Right. I'm sure you just are a millionaire right now.
Yeah. They make it sound like that, but then they don't make any money.
Yeah.
So what brought you to Lincoln then? Like what?
Catholic priest. So I'm
So
Catholic.
you were a priest?
No, I wasn't. Man, what a story. Yeah. No, so
CAD designer turned priest turned coffee shop owner.
Yeah.
It's just all downhill from me. I'm so far from God at this point. I'm basically in hell. But anyway, so I know I was. So my wife and I we're Catholic, and so my wife was fired from her job during COVID for not getting the COVID vaccine. I don't know if that bothers anybody. That's just facts, right? So she was fired for not getting the COVID vax, and so we decided to take a trip around America. We were like, let's go find America, for crying out loud. Like, this is ridiculous. We wanted to relocate and go someplace where our kids could just be, and we could just be. And so we went through Texas, Tennessee. We came back up. We actually went through Omaha, and I hated Omaha. We stayed in I don't know where we were. I've told people this story, and they're like, you must not have stayed in Omaha. But it was a terrible hotel we stayed in. There was like gypsies in the parking lot. Like they brought the furniture from the hotel bedroom out into the parking lot. They were like, and there was like kids running around, and I was just, not that I have anything against families and kids, but just like I'd never seen anything like this in my life. It was like being in a third world country all of a sudden. It was very weird. And in the hotel we stayed at, there was like a convention of, I don't know, addicts or something going on, because the parking lot was filled with these guys just smoking like chains, like chimneys out in the parking lot. It was just my wife and I were like locking ourselves in the hotel bedroom and stuff, or in the hotel, and just, it was a very bizarre experience.
That was a sign you shouldn't be in Omaha.
That was the sign we shouldn't live in anywhere in Nebraska.
Might have just
was
been a
our
College World
conclusion,
Series.
right? So we were just like, this is not like this is. We were looking for safe and a feeling of welcome, and that was not it. Right at the time, it was also admittedly dark. We didn't see Omaha during the day. We did go to the Henry Doorly Zoo, so that was we did like the zoo. It was the best zoo we'd ever been to. I still think it's the best zoo. Anyway, so left the zoo, left Nebraska, left Omaha. We just kind of finished up our trip, and we kind of had settled on Sioux Falls. We were going to move to Sioux Falls, but we were talking to this priest friend of ours, and he was like, "Well, if you guys want to go to someplace like super Catholic, go to Lincoln, Nebraska. It's like the most Catholic place in America. It's like Catholic Mecca." And he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Almost the world.
There are more Catholic churches within the city limits than we had in the entire county, or at least in our valley back in California. And that they had like 2 churches. Here it is like nine Catholic churches and schools. They export priests from Lincoln, Nebraska. There's so many in the seminaries. There's 2 seminaries here. So they're pushing priests out like crazy. So for us, it was like, that's a pretty good sign that it's going to be real Catholic. So we came. That's why we came. My wife applied for a job, and she was able to get it. And so we just packed up the kids and we moved. She got an offer in November. We planned to move, and we moved in January. So December was just pack it up and go. We don't have any family out here. We moved sight unseen. I got an apartment, and she had her job, and we put our kids in school, and that was it. Like, we're here. And then less than a year later, I'm like, I guess I'm opening a coffee shop.
So what's the motivation there? Have you always been a big coffee drinker?
No.
Okay.
This is the most disappointing coffee shop owner story ever. So like, I didn't drink coffee until October of 2022, and this sounds so stupid. But yeah, coffee just wasn't a thing. It was an extra expense. It was this luxury item that the rich could afford, and I was just like, I'm not going to bother.
In California, it's probably like $25.
Well, yeah, stupid, ridiculous out there. Yeah. It still is. I mean, yeah. So I'm not. We'll just leave that as it is.
I still think it's stupid ridiculous.
It's more expensive out there.
Yeah.
Getting into the whole coffee thing. So what happened was I walked into the building. I just walked into the space on Havelock Avenue, and I was looking to open a co-work space.
Okay.
Because I had been to a couple of those, and I'm this CAD drafting guy. I was a nomad. I was going to coffee shops all around Lincoln, posting up and working for several hours. I was one of these aspirational people looking for inspiration and a place to just do my thing and grow my business. And I was like, I could open up my own co-work space and have hot seats that I, rent out to people and all this kind of stuff. And so a buddy of mine had recommended this particular space on Havelock Avenue. He's like, we're going to be in there. We're doing our electrical company in the back, Precision Lighting Electrical. They own the offices in the back. He's like, but we're not doing anything with the front. You could like open up your co-work space. So I went in to check it out, and it was way too small for a co-work space. But that's when it was just this moment of like, this would be the coolest coffee shop if I could open up a coffee shop in here, because it's just that size. And I was thinking of putting the co-work space on the 2nd floor. So I went out and I was kind of praying about it in the car, and I made a deal with God, and I said, you know what, if you send me the means to make it happen, I'll make it happen. So I wrote the business plan. I sent it out around to friends and family. I was like, I'm not putting a dime into this idea. If it dies, it dies. They funded it. So I got all the funding I asked for.
Okay.
Friends and family, they gave me I have 3 friends in particular who gave me $10,000 each.
What the heck?
To get it all started.
You're the second. That's how Cody with Kincaidor
Can I have friends like
did
that?
it too. If
Yep.
I did that, people would tell me to jump in the lake. So apparently they must.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
That's the question.
I think they like them better than
That's
you,
an
Chris.
incredible leap of faith, though.
Yeah, and so it was.
I mean, I
just
have some
literally
good
trusted
friends,
at
but
that
I'm
point,
not.
yeah.
No, I don't care what their idea is. I'm probably not going to do that.
I don't blame anybody. It doesn't work out it doesn't work out great most of the time. 95% of businesses fail, right? Like this is hard. It's hard to do. All I had in me was like this sense of trust. I trusted in God, and I trusted in my future self's ability to figure it out. It's like, just do it. He gave me the money, so I kind of, and I made
You're
the
like,
deal.
well, now I got it.
I got to do it now. So I didn't really have I felt like I didn't have a choice. And my poor wife was just like, really? Coffee shop? Why? And then talking with, so I started talking with other coffee shop owners kind of as I was buying equipment and stuff leading up to the start of construction. I was drawing the business plans. And, I talked with one of them and he was telling me, he's like, it's been 5 years. I still haven't made a dime on my coffee shop.
No kidding.
And he's got 2 of them. And I was just
sweet.
Like,
this sounds great.
man. And I was like, well, so why do you do it? He's like, well, it's super fulfilling. Like, there's just something about it. It's very few people can say they own a place that people go to meet and gather and just be. Like, it's bizarre. It's not like opening up a McDonald's. It's not like opening up any other really kind of business. Apart from maybe like a resort, it's a party that doesn't stop. It's this, you're hosting. You're like you're a perpetual host, but the party is not like a loud one. It's like tea time. Like grandma is coming over to hang out, and she's coming over to catch up. Daughter's going to meet with dad, and she's going to catch up. She's going to spill her, tell the stories about what's been happening with her in college, and bring him a sense of closure and peace. People come and they cry. They come to tell really personal stories. They don't go to McDonald's for that. But yeah, so that was so that's why he said he was not going to give up on it. He's going to do it till it all. And he's like, oh, it'll make tons of money too once I pay off all the debt and everything. And I was like, okay. So that's why I'm in it. And that's why I'm still there. And it has benefited me in ways that are invaluable. I'm here. I am sitting on a podcast. I've never been on a podcast in my entire life. It's all these people that I've got to meet make it 100% worth it. And like week one of opening the shop.
Yeah, tell us how that went.
Man.
So there's nothing around there, right? Like that at all.
No. And
we got a lot of bars.
Right.
No relaxed place.
And opening up in the dead of, okay, so there was another relaxed place. There's 2 things here. So first off, there's another coffee shop that opened up on Havelock Avenue.
There is?
Yeah.
Bad.
Right down the street from me. It's a block away, 2 blocks away. 1893. They're nice folks. I know them now pretty well. They opened up in December, and I opened up in January.
So you're the
my
jerk.
gosh.
So you're the jerk that found a nice spot.
Yeah, so we didn't even know that we didn't know we were coming, Like, I didn't know they were coming, and they didn't know I was coming until 6 months into construction. I'm building the bar, like, late at night at the coffee shop by myself, and I get a phone call, and this guy is like, hey, I heard you're opening up a coffee shop in Havelock Avenue. I'm like, yes, sir. It's going to be this awesome, cool place, and, I'm going to do this European coffee
Nobody
experience.
else stands a chance.
And he was like, well, I'm opening up a coffee shop on Havelock Avenue. I was like, oh no. So we started talking, and
because like, do you want to be friends or do you want to?
We tried to come up like on the spot, like a quick. I was like, hey, look, why don't I'm calling at the charging station. Why don't you open up like Charging Station Express down the street? You got to drive through. Like we could we don't have to be the same business.
Everybody wins.
We could co-brand, and like people come from the charging station.
Like Tesla's showing up to both of you.
Yeah, listen, Lincoln, don't brand the way that I did, right? Man, so. That was just like, that's how we opened. We're coming. We opened up January 3rd. We opened up in the middle of winter, really terrible winter, and with another coffee shop that just opened up as well right down the street. And they're still heavily advertising, trying to get the word out that they're open. So they're doing their grand opening ceremonies the day that I had mine, right? Like, it's a ridiculous situation to walk into, but it really did help. We launched, and we had lines out the door for the first like 4 weeks.
Oh wow!
It was crazy right out the gate, and we were terrible, frankly. We were terrible. We had everything that we wanted in terms of like the coffee. We had a lot of stuff in terms of like drinks. We could do drinks pretty well, but the food was terrible and the processes were bad and my staff didn't know what they were doing. And I've never owned a restaurant in my entire life. And so this entire thing is just like, Every
Everything's
day,
new. Yeah.
every day was just like a whole new horrific problem. My kids clogged all the toilets within the week. 3 times they clogged the toilets in the same week.
Blaming the kids. All
They're my worst
Joe does
customers.
the same thing.
That's why he doesn't show up. He thought we found out. But yeah, I love my kids, but they're the worst customers, and I don't let them back at the shop. I'm 86 them from the shop.
You
Don't
go
you go down the street?
They always want
all
free
under 10.
stuff.
Yeah. Oh, we have bags of chips, Dad. Can we get bagels? No, because you're eating my whatever money is going to go to the staff at this point. Stop it. But so that's how we opened up, was just chaos and fumbling through the dark, and just trying to make ends meet every week, every month, try to make payroll, try to make sure that enough people are coming. And then the total number of people started to really dip. And so like the last all summer has been this doldrum. So it is very standard. This is
I was going to say, a
standard
lot of
in
people aren't
business.
hanging out in the coffee shop, though, in the summer.
During the summertime. Yet students were gone. Something I didn't account for or factor in when I wrote my business plan. I didn't think the students would just completely vacate all of Lincoln during the summertime.
Yeah.
They just were gone.
Yeah, we like it. I guess you don't. But yeah, we find it peaceful.
It's just a reality that didn't set in until July, and it was like there's no one. Like we're serving 35 to 40 customers per day, kind of thing. And I've done things like change hours. I've done things like introduce a whole new line of seasonal drinks and stuff like that, promotions, email marketing, all these different kinds of things. And it's been a struggle. Getting through the summer was like awful. It's really, really, really bad. But now that the fall is here, students are back. Yeah, the cold weather, the pumpkin spice latte season. I mean, so now things are picking back up, and now we're starting to see that everything's returning. It's returning, and now we're doing well. We're doing okay. I'm not saying we still got a lot of pain from the summer to recover from and heal from, but it's fine. I think we're gonna be ultimately be okay, and we've kind of now become established, and that was the struggle. That's been the struggle.
Yep.
It's just the number of people who know about you and know where you are. That number needs to increase, and the only way it can is every time someone comes in, there's a possibility they'll go tell their friend about it. And it's just this word of mouth thing. I've tried email marketing. I've tried web marketing. I've tried all kinds of different marketing, Instagram, Yelp. I've tried a variety of different marketing channels. And I've basically given up on all of them because the thing that just seems to work the most consistently is getting people to come into the shop. And once they see the space and they try something, they get it. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
like
why you
I
guys
got
do
it today.
Yeah. This is like,
I will tell everybody about that
clicks.
place. Like, you got to try it.
Well, you're doing it right now. It's fantastic. Thank you.
You're going to have lines about the door
appreciate
again as soon as this podcast comes out.
Hallelujah. So, let's go.
We gave the right address. If it's not, it's because we probably gave the wrong address. But this is great. This is very motivational. I love this. You're so genuine. So let's move then to, we call them our oh shit moments, right?
Hang on there, Chris. I got one more question.
Hold on, because Joe was going to ask a question first.
You're talking about the students and stuff. Do you ever make special coffees to adapt right for them, like a big red latte or something?
So, yeah. So to that point, if our brand, right? Our brand, I'm trying to have this brand of like high class. Not that the Huskers are not high class, but like luxury.
We're looking great.
Right. No, it's fantastic work so far. That Rayola.
It's like your last name.
Going
It's
to,
hard to say.
yeah.
Ray Liotta, yep.
Ray Liotta. Wait a minute.
Wow.
Isn't that an
Guys,
actor?
Dylan Raiola.
R.I.P.
Raiola. All right.
This is not going to make the
That's
cut.
exactly what I was confused. Dude, yeah, if you put this in there, I will get completely attacked. Please don't. That I can't say Ray.
Should.
What's his name?
Dylan Raiola.
Dylan Raiola.
Who you are inviting to your coffee shop right now
For
to
free.
come check it out.
For butchering his name. 100%. You get a pour over for free, my friend. Ethiopian, single origin, only the best. Congratulations.
Best marketing right there.
Let's go. Dylan Raiola.
Who needs word of mouth?
Raiola.
I keep doing it again. Rye. Not, it's spelled with an A. That's what throws me.
But then
mad.
there's an I.
There is an I.
And an O. What a lot of vowels.
It's not Jeopardy.
This is not helping us.
So,
Joe, what was your question?
Yeah, the question was, am I going to do anything like a big red latte?
Sure,
And
yes.
like I thought about it. I did think about doing it, but I wanted, because of the whole emphasis on a place and a space for people to connect and to encounter and have conversations and to not be lonely. I didn't want there to. Okay, so when you go to a bar, or if you go to a grill, like a bar and grill kind of place, and if a guy is, in my opinion, dumb enough to take their family to that bar, and he's got, you've got screens, you're at Tanner's or whatever, right? There's games on all around you, and you're on your phone, right? You're checking scores, and you got your wife and your kids in front of you. Like, I'm sorry, you're not. That's not family time. That's not family dinner. That's just a dopamine hit all the way around for an hour and a half. 90-minute dopamine hit for one person, because your wife doesn't care.
He's watching the kids.
And the kids are probably on their devices. She's probably on Facebook. I don't know. Like, so that's not the spirit of what I'm trying to do. There's a trend in the coffee world right now to ban devices and screens. There's a coffee shop in New York that is they have a no screen policy.
Does
You
that
come in and
like
just no
even
screens.
like your
They'll kick you out.
laptop? Because a lot of people go there
laptop.
to work.
They don't want people to go into work anymore.
Okay.
At least at this one in New York, I'm not doing that because I put an outlet at every table.
Yeah.
So you can
That's-
come and work at my coffee
Those
shop.
outlets are for your books.
I'm happy to have you for your Kindle. Who has those anymore? But so that's the direction that the coffee world, and what I would call probably the fourth wave of coffee, this new wave of shops and owners who have kind of like this mindset of, we're doing so much more than coffee, and they want to go beyond innovative flavors. It's like a spiritual experience. I mean, there's not many sacred spaces left in the world. So for some people, the coffee shop can be it. That's what I'm trying to make it. So I haven't done it yet, and I don't have a plan to yet. But potentially, that's the way I want to go. So to this question of, okay, are you going to brand yourself and try to attract the students with a big red latte and with the sports hype and all that? No. I want to keep it very apolitical and a sport, for lack of a better term. As neutral as I can. And being as very vulnerable and honest at the same time. Like, I don't hide the fact that I'm Christian or that I'm Catholic. I don't hide it, but I don't also throw it in anyone's face. Yeah. I don't have there's in the Catholic faith we have Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and so Carmel sounds like caramel, and so they have Catholic coffee shops will have Our Lady of Caramel latte, the caramel latte. It's like, oh, come on, that's too far. You've gone overboard at that point.
They brew it with holy water too, right?
Exactly. They boiled the hell out of it.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that. I don't like stop, everyone's work to say prayer or something like that. Like, I'm not doing that. A lot of people come for Bible studies. A lot of people come for all these different, again, having conversations. I love that they're doing that, but that I'm just creating a space for people to do that.
Yeah.
Have a conversation. I don't care what you talk about. And I have a lot of Protestants who come in, and they talk with my Catholic friends, and they argue. Right? They'll have these discussions in a booth or in one of the tables, and it's just, and I just love it. It's great.
Sit back and listen.
Let's
to those.
go. Yeah. And I'm just like, hey, roast. Was that half and half or whole milk that they did? Yeah. So I'm just deep in the weeds. Dealing with drinks, and that's the service that I'm providing ultimately. So I'm trying not to do anything that gimmicky, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It feels to the point where like it can feel forced, and I don't want to do anything that feels forced. I don't want to put up a big N just because that's what everyone else is doing. I'm going against the grain in many ways, so I'm just going to keep doing that. And I think I'm doing that by just being neutral, which is weird, but I am being neutral, and that's no one's complained.
Yeah, you're giving them something that they don't have access to with what you have. So.
And there's I think that one of the physical or the athletic trainers from the Huskers team, she comes in, her name's Allie. I don't think she would mind me mentioning that she comes in the morning. So she'll come in on her way, on game day. She comes in and she gets like a latte with an extra shot. And then she also gets a espresso double shot. So she drinks the espresso double shot in a little glass, and then she takes this latte with an extra shot to go. And she's just caffeined up for this game, but she loves just like talking with me about that.
So that's clientele number two. That's
the caffeine addicts.
Caffeine.
if she needs it, I don't blame her.
You're not going to turn them away.
No, I would never turn anyone away. We're legal drug dealers at this coffee shop. I'll tell you, it's okay. Yeah.
So, okay, Joe, is it okay if I move along?
You may, Chris.
Okay. So we'll move to your oh shit moments, which I think you kind of went through your bad oh shit, and that was basically the summer.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And I know you've only been open a short period of time, but like, what was like your good oh shit? Like you know you're there, and you're like,
holy
this
smokes,
is,
it's
I
working.
love it. This is it.
Great.
This is if I can do this,
Yeah.
this is gonna work.
So
When the Protestants and Catholics were arguing, or
When they got Joe back after his tea tobacco.
No, it was honestly the day after grand opening. So like the grand opening, I put the word out, right? I put flyers up at churches and at the schools, or just everywhere I could put flyers up, and I was telling people about it. And we were on Instagram posting every single day for the grand opening. So grand opening came, we were there, and for me it was like, I just got to get through this day, just got to get through the day. It's all that matters. And we did. So the day after, I basically didn't have a plan. Right, like everything was for this one day.
yeah, poured everything into it. Yeah,
I had full staff. I had 5 people on staff for grand opening day. I did not need 5 people on for staff, but we did. And so everything was spotless. Everything was clean. I was just keeping them busy. The second day was like this. They came back. Like people were still coming back, and in fact, we started doing better.
Nice.
And we started getting closer to the weekend, to a Saturday. And that was going to be our biggest day. I didn't know that was going to be our biggest day, but Saturday was our biggest day, the Saturday after opening. And wow, it blew me out of the water that people liked what they got. And they didn't just like it, they loved it. And they started complimenting the coffee. The coffee's unique. You're not going to get that flavor anywhere else in Lincoln, because we've chosen a different bean. We do it in a different style. So it's very unique. Lots of caffeine in our coffee. People love it. And so that was very, very affirming. And the line out the door for a good 3 hours on Saturday, following the grand opening, was like this moment of like, and I got a text message from a buddy of mine, because I was running to the grocery store. We were low on milk, and I needed to go get milk as soon as humanly possible. So I'm at the grocery store, and I get this text message from my buddy, and he's like, "Are you here? Like, there's a line out the door. Like, I can't even get in. Like, this is crazy." And he was smiling, like happy face emoji, And I was just, that was the moment where it was like,
Nice.
This is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. This is amazing.
that would be cool. That would be, yeah. So what are your hours?
We are open from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday. We're closed on Sundays because I'm Catholic. There we go. That's it. But you can force me to be there if you so desire. So we rent the whole shop out after hours. This is a marketing thing that I started doing for the last 2 months that has starting to build up some steam here, so it's working. When I don't have staff there, and I needed the place to kind of do some more marketing for me, and getting people in is the key. Getting people to come in and see the space is the key. So I've started letting people rent the shop for free for birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers, events, just whatever. Bring your own food. I don't care. You just come and see the space and use it. And you can do it for free from 4 to 9, Monday through Saturday. Or you can book the conference room. We have a conference room as well. We've been up. That's for free as well. You can book that from 6 to 4, Monday through Saturday as well. So they can book it online on our website. They can block out 1, 2, or 3 hour time slots, and they can add on. I got add-ons, so you can buy coffee for all your guests, or you can have somebody at the bar and staff a full bar. That's something that I've been doing and pushing a lot, and I've got flyers out for that. It is for a limited time. At some point, I'm going to have to start charging. If we build a critical mass, and it's like, okay, too many people, too many events. I'm not leaving work till 10 p.m. every single night. Like I gotta pull back on this or start charging or something. But right now it's free, and that brings people in. So that's been working out pretty well.
Smart.
This is really good. I'm motivated. I'm gonna go open up my own.
Go drink coffee. You want to book?
I don't have any time.
So one of the things that has happened there at the coffee shop that is probably the thing I'm the most excited about this is there's a small business called Axe Labs. It's just 2 guys, Brian and Eric, who are good friends of mine now. They came to the coffee shop just looking for a place to work, and they started this web design business. And they introduced themselves to me, and I was just kind of asking them about it, and I gave them permission to stay late, like a couple days. And now they stay late all the time. They've basically turned the shop into their office. And it's really cool because they bring their clients to the shop. They're on the ground floor of their little business. And so when they come in and, we talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about where they're going. What's their strategy? How are they going to scale? Who are their next clients going to be? Their markets that they're going to go into? Who they should go talk to next? Like, what do they do from here? It's just a feeling of like Silicon Valley 2.0 in the middle of Nebraska. It feels good to be on the ground of like to see something starting.
Watch them grow.
And a rising tide carries all ships. I'm sure it's going to come back and benefit me in some way, shape, or form. And it doesn't have to be monetarily. It's just so cool to watch these guys on fire doing their thing. And their websites are killer. They have some really cool websites. So I'm just excited, and I'm proud to have been the host for this little web design company.
Kind of the silent partner.
I'm a good friend. I like to think now, but yeah.
Mama bear figure. Like, way to go, boys. You're doing it. You're doing it.
Yeah, it's my little birdies about to fly the nest, and they'll move to another coffee shop one day. I know. And it'll probably be their own in their office. I just hope they consult me before they buy a machine. So.
Well, you said you've been here in Lincoln for almost a year now. Is that
2 years? So yeah, since 2022,
Okay.
we'll push 2.5, almost 3 years now.
almost 3 years?
Crazy, yeah.
So the Brand Lincoln podcast, we love our town, as I hope you have grown to love it now that you're
100%.
planting your seeds. What are the fun things you like to do recreationally around town?
Stars games.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my wife and I started going to Stars games. She worked at Nebraska Orthopedic Center as a cast tech, so she would do casting and splinting. But so they would give tickets away to their staff, and that was the coolest. So we would take the kids and we'd go to see Stars games. That's fantastic. I love doing that.
They're rowdy. They're fun.
Oh yeah. I've never heard an entire crowd tell the opposing goalie that they suck.
God, yeah.
Like, hey goalie, you suck. Like,
Just like a 20-year-old kid.
yeah, this poor kid. And I'm just part
He's
of
not
me.
even 20. He's like 15, 16.
Is that like a college hockey?
Yeah,
thing?
they're like 18 to 22.
Yeah.
No, but like it was the coolest.
So now
thing.
it makes you feel even worse.
Yeah, I feel worse for that kid. That's terrible.
Well, if he would have stopped the puck, they wouldn't be chanting it. So
Well, don't suck so bad. You know? So yeah, that's one thing I do for fun. The other thing is, I mean, like I love going out and getting beer with the boys, with the dads that help me build the bar. So I like going over to what's the Boiler Room. We go to the Boiler Room a lot.
Oh, nice.
So the Boiler Room's great. Gold Coast. No, Corn Coast, not Gold. Corn Coast was cool. Yeah, I've been exploring the different bars. We went to Pour recently too, so I just like going to breweries and trying different beverages. I'm a beverage guy now because of obvious things. So I like to critique people's beverages and
maybe
coffee
I'll
shops and
tag
stuff.
along sometime. I like beverages as
For
well.
sure. And then jiu-jitsu too. Yeah, jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Oh,
so
no,
you guys
okay.
know
Joe might tag along for that as well.
the Lincoln Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Center, LBJJ. Those guys are
Yeah,
awesome.
LBJJ, yeah.
Yeah. You go?
No.
I know the way you said that. Like, Joe, there's
Brown belt?
just
Blue
a
belt?
big fan.
What belt are you, sir? No, those guys,
Double
those guys
white.
are fantastic. Those guys are great. They actually opened up a location right down the street from me on Havelock. Right before I opened up my location. I don't know if they heard that I was coming or something, but that's pretty cool. They just happened to be opening up a location. So they got 2 locations here in Lincoln, 2 different studios or schools, right? So my kids go there. My kids do that, and that's been pretty rad.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. That was great.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.
I can't wait to check out the vibes at
You
the
really do.
Yeah,
We'll
coffee shop.
come on by. Yeah.
It's part of our field trips. We're definitely going to do a tour of your
That'd be
place,
awesome.
and we'll put that
Yeah,
on
come and
our,
try a
Facebook
pulp.
and everything
We got
page.
a Pulp Addiction, the drink that I got to shout out. This orange cocktail with cold brew and a cold foam. It's gnarly. It's fantastic.
It sounds delicious. Did
Yeah.
you bring some for us to sample?
No,
Okay.
They're open till 4.
It's fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I should have brought gift cards for you guys. I'm sorry.
Time.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys.